how's it going, everybody? How you doing here? Welcome to Chicago. Once again, we're at Michigan Avenue. Got 5:11 in the p.m. here, November the 13th, 2025. So we'll cross Water Street. Just head home. Thursday's the new Friday, and yeah, the temperature's supposed to warm up tomorrow a little bit. We might get to 60, and then might even be a little warmer on Saturday. Then it'll drop back down. But I think next week, end of the week, they'll open the Kris Kringle Market. So we'll next week we'll check on the final progress of the setup there. Here, let me turn on the camera too. Jody, how you doing there? Good evening there. Yeah, thanks for tuning in there. Billy Johnson, how you doing there? Juan, how you doing? Yeah, Chicago loves you. Prince, yeah. Pete, how you doing there? Hazlitt, yeah, Hazlitt's by Flint, right? Yeah. Or Lansing. No, I think it's by Flint, Michigan. Yeah, thanks for tuning in there. That's great. Middle of the state. Hey, there's the look down the Beaubien Court. I know I would say that wrong. But hey, it's already dark. We got 5:13 in the p.m. We'll just head up Michigan Avenue. And hey, look, they're holding a train car there. Look at that. Chicago, living in the city, the big bad city. I heard somebody left their scooter. MM, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, they got the e-bike there. Look at all these bikes. Yeah, this is great. Michigan Avenue is just full of bikes. So hey, we'll head by the 333 Michigan building here, North Michigan. Here's the Blackhawk store. We were here lunchtime. I feel like I'm in a constant loop here. Let's see what else is going on there. I'd like to order a big #1 Big Mac there. How you doing there? Yeah, pretty Michigan. Michigan Avenue. Across the Chicago River here. We're at Wacker Drive. Yeah, the Wrigley looks nice. The building. There we go. There's the Trump Tower. There's the look at the nice blue of the top at the London Guarantee there. That looks nice. Yeah. Hey, people selling stuff here. Yeah. We got to get the flash. I like it. Yeah, I like all the stuff here. Nice dog there. You like the scarf? Hey, the Apple store. Something's going on. More scooter debris. People taking pictures on the Sable, Michigan Avenue Bridge there. Yeah, it's looking down Wacker. Here's the 3 bus. Sounds like there's some music or something going on here. I'll have to cut out this copyrighted music, but that's okay. Yeah. Oh, he's singing.
Chains that seem to bind you.
Very nice.
Only to remind you that you're apart behind.
Very nice. So hey, we're having church services in the middle of Michigan Avenue. I'm all for it. There you go. There's the Wrigley building. There's the Tribune Tower. Hey, what are you doing there? Yeah, there you go. So somebody helped them out there. That's great. Just gave them some money there. That's good. So here's Jean-Baptiste Pointe-du-Sable. There he is. His wife was Kitty Hawa from the Potawatomi. There's the Apple store. Yeah, there's St. Regis there. Look at that nice skyline there. There's the Aon Tower, the 333 North Michigan. There's the Apple store. How you doing? Here's Tribune Tower, and there's the Wrigley building there, Michigan Avenue. Hey, look, this is new. So hey, we're in Pioneer Plaza. Guess what this is? This is the Christmas tree for Pioneer Plaza in front of the Tribune here. So they're gonna start decorating this with lights. Another sign of the changing season. We saw them install the official Christmas tree for Millennium Park. This is the official Christmas tree for, they call this Pioneer Plaza here. Probably for Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable. And there's the Tribune Tower. See, they trimmed some of the limbs there to make it symmetrical. And this is a real tree as well. And here, let's get it with the, let's walk all around it here. We'll get it with the Wrigley building. We'll stay here. Here's the Apple store. See how you can look right through the Apple store, right through the tree here. There it is. Look how nice that is. So hey, probably a week from now, they'll have this all lit up with lights here. We'll give you a sneak preview here. There's the Christmas tree at Pioneer Plaza in front of the Wrigley building there. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? You see this, Anita? Yeah. Mima. Christy M. Yeah, we're getting... So next week, things will really start taking shape. Chris Kringle Market will come together. We'll see a lot more activity like this where they'll put stuff getting ready for the parade. The parade is next Saturday. The official lighting of the Millennium Park Christmas tree is on Friday the 21st. And 22nd is the Saturday. I think that's right. Chris Kringle might open on Thursday, but I'm not for sure. Yeah, Saskatchewan. How you doing there, Sheila? Naya Papaya, how you doing there? Dolores. Yeah, Dolores had a good birthday there. I hope you're fully recovered. That's good. We saw you on at lunch there. Look at that nice view. You get back to the Jewelers building, the skyline of Chicago. We're in front of the Wrigley building. And yeah, we'll give you more updates on the progress of that tree there. So hey, let's head up Michigan Avenue. See, they put some garland on the Realtor building. This is the building that Bob Newhart worked in. They added that blue thing to the top, that round thing later. See, they got some holiday stuff here. We got some little snow puffs, whatever these are. Look how they look nice with the NBC tower there behind there. Little sparklers, it's like sparklers of light. I like it. See, I'm easily even hear music. Somebody's playing music over there. Sounds. Oh, they're playing the violin. Can you hear that? It's like they're playing the Fly of the Bumblebee. Wow. Yeah, Canadians. We like Canadians. Moscow, Russia. Spartacus. Let's see. Well, one Golden Nubian. How you doing there? You saw that? Yeah. Sunderland. Yeah. Yeah, Garland. We need more Garland in the world. Kyrgyzstan. How you doing there? Kyrgyzstan. How you doing there? Central Asia. Very nice. See, we're clear the rear. We're beaming real worldwide here. This is the Tribune Tower, and it's been converted to housing. It was the newspaper, built in 1925, Tribune Tower. And there was the Nathaniel Hale statue there. I regret I have but one life to give for my country, Nathaniel Hale, patriot of the American Revolution. Here, we'll cross the street so we'll give you a better view of the Well, you can see the side of the Intercontinental Hotel. This used to be the Medina Athletic Association building here, built in the late 1920s. Across the street here, Michigan Avenue. Here's the view. Look at that view looking south on Michigan Avenue, the Prudential Tower in blue. Here's the view looking north. This is the direction we're heading. I'm heading home from work here. We got 5:20 in the p.m., Michigan Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, Red Illinois Street. We got about 50 degrees temperature. What's that, 10 degrees Celsius? That's pretty easy. And yeah, you want to get a pizza shop? You want to give? Yeah, Lou Malnati's. There's a Lou Malnati's at the bottom of the Wrigley building. We'll pass another Lou Malnati's probably on Rush Street. We'll go by Gino's East, at least a half a block away from it. And Uno's and Due's is 2 blocks to the left. You can go down Ohio Street. We went by it earlier in the week. Yeah, we can go over there. We can get off of Michigan Avenue. We've seen enough of Michigan Avenue this week. We'll go over to Uno's and Due's, check out the temporary casino. Yeah, we saw this morning. We watched the rerun from this morning. We went over by the old Montgomery Wards there, by the North Branch Chicago River, and we saw the fast construction progress on that new permanent Bally's casino there being built east of Halstead, south of Chicago Avenue. We're on Michigan Avenue here. Yeah, it looks fantastic. Pacific Northwest, Zoom Patrol, yeah. Which building? So, this building here, this is, okay, so this is the Tribune. I think they started building this first. They started building this in 1925. It took them several years to finish it. This building was probably built in 1929, 1928, 1929. It's the Medina Athletic Association. It was built by the Shriners, which are a subset of the Masons. You heard of the Freemasons. And it was supposed to be a place where they could stay when they were on business in Chicago, like a timeshare hotel, and that's why it had a pool. We bought into the athletic association. There was many athletic associations on Michigan Avenue historically. There's still two of them there. The men's and women's athletic association will go, well, we went by them this morning. There's a pool on the 17th floor. I'm sure people will say all kinds of Tartarian conspiracy theories. We got photographs when this building was not here. And this street was wide as this. This used to be a narrow street called Pine Street. They widened it in the early 1920s when they implemented the Burnham Plan. And we got images of there before the Tribune. There was like the Wrigley Building was the first building built. There was nothing but the Allerton Tip Top Tap and all a bunch of low buildings, except for the Fourth Presbyterian Church was there too. And they tore down some other buildings that we lost along the way. But hey, welcome to Chicago, Michigan Avenue. And how you doing there? Yeah, Gerald, how you doing there? Dolores, G, FC, football club. Let's see here. Blue Malnati's, yeah, like Chico Blanco. Yeah, very nice. I know what that means. So here we'll take a left. We'll go down. Ohio Street. So we just left Michigan Avenue here, and they call this North Bridge. I don't hear anybody call this North Bridge. People don't even hardly call this River North, but they're trying to brand this, whatever they try to brand it. Hey, there's an AMC movie theater here up in the upper levels. I don't know if it's still going. Huh. But here we'll head down. The Uno's and Due's, the original Chicago-style pizza places, are here on Wabash Street. Used to be Cass Street. Steak Shake Shack. There's a Marriott. Mary Treese, how you doing there? Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Artificial intelligence. So yeah, the Chicago Bears currently play at Soldier Field. They're trying to move to Arlington Heights, which I will stop attending games once they do that. But I don't go to many Bears games. I watch them on TV. Chicago Bears. Soldier Field is about 2 miles south of where we're at. It's south of the museum campus. It's near the lakefront. It's near Burnham Harbor. You can look at a map. We're in River North. We're north of the river. We're going to be heading towards Lincoln Park eventually because I'm walking home from work. This is my daily commute, walking to and from work. I don't have a car. I lived in Chicago for almost 27 years. I grew up in Indiana. Hopefully we'll head off some of the questions people ask here. And here we're heading. The reason we went this way, we were on Michigan Avenue. Somebody asked about pizza, so we'll go by Italy. Hey, Italy's got some holiday decorations here. Italy, this grocery store, they got them in major cities throughout the world. It's Italian products they're imported in. They got some restaurants in there. You get wine and gelato and desserts, and it's a great place. 2 stories. We got videos where we go through there. Maybe we'll do that again in the wintertime. Some cold, nasty day there. We'll walk through there at lunchtime. I can easily make it to Italy during my lunchtime streams. So this is the temporary Bally's Casino site. We go by it often. This is Wabash. This is original Pizzeria Uno's. You ever heard of Chicago-style pizza? The thick meatloaf-style pizza there. And here's the back of the Trump Tower there, Wabash. You got a line. Pizzeria Uno's. So a guy from Texas opened this in the 1950s. He wanted to open a Mexican restaurant, but in the 1950s, most of the Chicagoans that lived here at that time, the demographics were a lot different. So like people who worked in the stockyards, they didn't want to eat Mexican food. So they developed the Chicago-style pizza, this meaty, very filling pizza. And people thought that was good value for their money. So it took off as Chicago-style pizza, and there was many, Geno's, and then Lou Malnati's. Rudy Minotti worked for Uno's and Due. They did the Due, the second one. There's also Many other chains. I'm not going to get into listing them all because there's literally like dozens and dozens. Chicago style. Here's the Valley Casino. Here, see the Medina Temple Auditorium building. They redid this. That's the casino there. We'll stay in the public here. They don't like live streamers in casinos. Vegas, same thing. They especially don't like them in sports books. But here's the temporary casino here, and it's a beautiful building. Here we'll show Pizzeria Due. Look at they got the roof, looks really green. Huh. There, let's cross the street so I can show you the facade of this beautiful historic building. Again, it's called the Medina Temple Auditorium because, like the Medina Athletic Association, it was built by the Shriners not to have a hotel. It was actually an auditorium. There was an amphitheater inside there, and it was so large at one time they had the Shriners Circus in there at one time. It had nice acoustics, but they destroyed that when they made it a Bloomingdale's furniture store before it was vacant, and then now temporarily the Valley's Casino is using it as the casino site until they build the permanent location. But it's not really profitable. They're probably losing money. They just, I guess for their brand, they just want to let people know they can gamble here in Chicago. Here's a bakery. Here's Su Casa. So Uno's and Due's eventually got to open their Mexican restaurant after Uno's and Due's. And so here's Hotel Cass. The reason it's called Hotel Cass, Wabash Street here used to be called Cass Avenue. And it's even in the buildings. And that's why this is the Hotel Cass here on Wabash. And it's real close to the casino. So here, we'll head over here. Here's the, here's the Cable House. And then here's the Dree House Museum here. Oh, you remember when Medina was a dance club? Really? Was it like a disco, like techno dance, or was it like a dance hall like for swing bands and like big bands? How long ago was that? I'll look into that. They used it for a lot of, that shows you how many things they used that building for. I could see it was used for the Shriners Circus. People remember seeing the Shriners Circus there. And people remember, I guess, used as a dance hall, which thanks for the good information. Here's the Dree House Museum here. And here we'll cross the street here. Hey, they got some Christmas lights up here, Wabash and Erie. There's the Cable House, historic Richardsonian Romanesque there. It was built by Ransom Cable. He was that was his first name, Ransom. He was he was a railroad baron along with William Ogden and others, and they were the initial investors in the railroads that when they developed Chicago in the late 1840s, early 1850s. This is the Dree House. It's a museum. These were early Gilded Age mansions that were built in Chicago after the Great Chicago Fire. That's why they're so nice, because they built better after the fire destroyed this whole area. And eventually the McCormicks bought this because they bought up a lot of amazing architecturally significant buildings. The heirs, Erie and Wabash. Look at this great view you get to the John Hancock there. Look at that. And then this church is called St. James. This is St. James. It's Episcopalian, and it too was greatly damaged, pretty much destroyed by the Great Chicago Fire. But portions of that bell tower supposedly survived. You can see in the photos it was like in ruins, and then subsequently, like the roof caught on fire, and they redid the roof. It's an amazing flying buttress like roof in there. I've got video of it, or we got reruns. Hey, there's the bells. $5:30 on the dot. I should have been looking at my clock there. So hey, there's your 5:30 chimes for St. James Cathedral. They call this the Cathedral District. Again, I don't know anybody else that calls it that. They just try to brand it for marketing purposes. Jonathan Adler. Here's Jonathan Adler. Amazing interiors here. Hey, here we got some. So we got holiday lights this way, and we got holiday lights this way. Let's go. Yeah, they got the trees decorated here already. Hey, we got, yeah, we saw those earlier. So hey, it's starting to look a lot like Christmas finally, even though we're in November. And it's, the snow already melted. It probably looked more like Christmas on Monday when we got that snow, but you see the snow's completely gone. Even the piles are gone. I don't see any piles of snow. Yeah, calling you to church. Yeah, we just passed the Jean-Baptiste Point de Sable statue. I pointed it out. We point it out every time I go by there. He was the first non-indigenous resident of Chicago. He was a black man. He might have been mixed race. No one knows for sure because he had a French name. He was during the French colonial period. Jean-Baptiste Point de Sable. We got others. We probably need more statues to African Americans, black Americans in Chicago. I filmed the Harold Washington statue in front of the Harold Washington Cultural Center at 47th and MLK. We did that while we filmed the Bud Billiken Parade, and I was happy to do that. We try to point out stuff there. Thanks for asking. How you doing here? Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to this is Wabash Street. We're going by the Holy Name Cathedral here, and we're heading home from work here. So how you doing? Now the Southwest Side's nice. Ernesto Chicago Nuggies lives in Archer Heights. We take the Orange Line to the Midway. I have several hour-long videos where we ride the Orange Line. I need to get to the back of the yards more often. We have gone to Little Village, but Little Village is on the west side. Even though it's 26th Street, people always, they were like, oh, you were in Little Village, you were on the south side. I'm like, no, it's the west side. And they were like, what? I'm like, it's north of the river. And I asked Ernie, I said, Ernesto, I said, is Little Village on the west side? He said, yeah, so is Pilsen. It's on the west side. It's not on the south side. Now, Chinatown, even though Chinatown is like north of, it's like parallel with Pilsen, they consider it the south side because it's south of the river. It's because the river comes from the downtown. It's weird. It's the south and west sides are divided by the south branch of the Chicago River all the way to the border. We just crossed Chicago Avenue here. So, hey, welcome to Chicago. We got 5:33 in the PM there. There's the One Chicago Tower. That's over on State Street. That's the Trump Tower. We'll head up. We'll get some views to the John Hancock 875 North Michigan Tower there. And the rivers, guess what the river's called? Guess what the river's called? Can anybody tell me what the river that flows through Chicago is called? It's called the Chicago River. We make our name simple. Everything's either Lincoln or Chicago or you know, we use the park. Everything's park. Lincoln Park, Oak Park, you know, or Chicago Heights, even though it's not really that tall. Yeah, Victor, ask me a question that has something to do with what I'm talking about. You know, what you want us to talk about what you want to talk about? Hey, let's make this the Victor channel. Guess what Victor wants to talk about? What made you think of that? Yeah, and then here's Loyola here. So here we'll film the Christmas tree. We'll film the Christmas decorations here. Is that okay with you? Or you'd rather talk about like violence and like Americans fighting with each other? It's great. Here, that'll get us in the holiday spirit here. Is Ice going to give you a Christmas gift? Here's the Christmas tree here. We got this is probably Loyola University stuff. We got a taco truck. Hey, there's some Christmas decorations here. Loyola, Lombard Hall, and so we want to head this way. I want to go this way. I want to check out the lights here. I know people are like, "Where's this guy going?" Here's yeah, Loyola University here. Terry Student Center. Happy holidays. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Dave Nasty. I'm proud of my. I've never felt more connected to my community, and I'm proud of our local judges that actually support our local community, and I'm proud of residents from all over the city, southwest and north side, even the east side, towards Indiana there, and the police, Chicago police. I posted that video of a teacher. She said her preschool and elementary age students, they were asking her what's the difference between ICE and police, and she had to explain it to them, and they had some amazing questions. And It's great when we have a policy that scares the children. You know, you're supposed to be scary. You're supposed to fear law enforcement. Yeah, and then people like try to spread fear with the comments, like, you know, just fear and terror, just like the mentioning of the acronym gives them some like superior, you know, power. So here, let's see, here we're on State Street here. And I want to cross the street here, so yeah, let's cross here at the stop sign. There, Alpana. There, where we State and Pearson here. And we'll cross the street after this car here. How you doing? No outlet. So there's the YMCA. There's the one Chicago Tower. We saw it from multiple sides. This is where the Red Line subway vents. The Red Line subway is under here. Sometimes you can hear it. We'll cut over to Washington Square Park here. Maybe they got some decorations out already. Hey, they're getting nails done. Yeah, wait till next Saturday. Next Saturday they light up Michigan Avenue, and then so the rest of the way into the holidays. And so I think on Thursday, I don't know if it'll be ready by then, but possibly on Thursday they could have the Kris Kringle Market ready. And we'll try to hit it on Thursday at lunch, but it might not be ready until Friday. And then Friday night we'll stick around. We'll stick around. They'll do the lighting of the Christmas tree in Millennium Park. They're already setting up the lights right now. We just saw the new Christmas tree in Pioneer Square. And then on Saturday night, they have the Michigan Avenue lights parade. It's usually like Disney characters. Santa comes to town. I like watching the ballet parade of street sweepers at the end. We timed it to the chicken dance there last year. That was fun. And so hey, and then that all happens before Thanksgiving. And then the next week there's a Macy's Thanksgiving parade in Chicago, not the one in New York City. There's one on State Street. J City Walking Girl, she filmed it last year. I'm sure we'll run into our fellow Chicago live streamers from every angle. Hey, here's a positive well, I hope it turns out positive for this Gemini. I reached out to him. He wrote me back. This Gemini, a great fellow live streamer in Chicago. He's huge on YouTube. I'm sure if you watch Chicago content on YouTube, you've run into this Gemini. He films landscape, 60 frames per second, high resolution 4K. He usually doesn't talk over his videos, which some people love that, which is great. And you could hear all the city noises and people talking, and he films the cultural events. You can hear all the music. He got some weird, like, you know, like I have the same problem. The more and more content you get, eventually you got so much content, they change the terms and conditions. Something robotically trips the algorithm because it's all searching, AI searching your content for violations all the time. And he's appealing. He got his account violation for some minor thing, and they took down all his content, and that people were looking for him, and so he's appealing it. Hopefully he'll get it back. I'll give you an update, but he's fine. I was the biggest thing. We were worried about him because, you know, we didn't want like something to happen, because he streamed the snow and then he's just gone. And see, that's the thing, you know, if you, like, it happened to Darren Monroe, it happened to this Gemini, it happened to me. You know, you just go dark, and then you lose all your connections, and then no one can find you. And then for like months, everybody's like, either they have forgotten about you, or they assumed you're just like, you know, we lost Vic Cohen for a while. Everybody's like, what happened to Vic Cohen? Is he okay? Yeah, he's fine. He's posting content. He just took a break. It was after he timed it when TikTok was supposed to go dark in January. He was just like, I'm done. I don't blame him, because I was almost done too. I wanted to switch to YouTube then, and I was ready for it. You know, I really thought TikTok was gonna be banned, and it was for 8 hours. Everybody kept going back to their phone, and when they turned TikTok back on, within an hour, everybody was like, it's back, because people were just going back, reflexively going back to their phone, hitting it, seeing if it was back up. They know they got us all under their control. We need the dopamine. We're like the little rats in the cage there. Go up there, give me another pellet, give me another pellet, scroll, you know. Commercial, scroll, commercial, programming, brainwash. And then I'm like the Manchurian Candidate. They got me under their control. They're like, walk around and surveil Chicagoans, act like you're a live streamer. You're working for us. We're looking at your channel right now. Thousands of eyes roaming the street, scanning the horizon for opportunities. So hey, let's head up Dearborn Street. We'll cut up this way. Yeah, Nelios, Grim Evil, how you doing there? Dave Nasty. So Grim Evil, we heard from this Gemini, so I'll tell Ernie. I was like, Ernie, let me help you hear from this Gemini. Hey, did you see Ernesto and Overtime Seb were at Northerly Island last night? They were looking for the Northerly Lights. That was a good place to go. I thought that was a good idea. I was like, I'll just let them handle it because I went to bed. You know, but they were further away from the light pollution. There was so much light pollution on Napa Avenue Beach. It was like lighting up the waves. And it was like we were in a strobe light. Here, the Newberry Library. If you just joined, we just went through Washington Square Park. We're in Chicago. We got 5:42 in the PM here. And here, yeah, they got some Christmas lights down there. Look at that purple 900 North Michigan building emerging there. Here's the Newberry Library. There's some school event getting out here, so I'll get away from this. But yeah, look at the thick walls. This is the William F. Ogden School, I think. And we're at Dearborn and Oak Street, generally, in Chicago. You were watching, yeah, you see them. They were having a good time there. They kept taking pictures, and they're like, it's getting green. It's getting green. And then I looked later tonight, and they were both gone. I was like, I guess nothing happened. You know, it was over. The night before was the best. Jody GTP got some good stuff at Montrose. Ernesto got some good views of it. And people in the suburbs, like yours, Grim Evil, got a better shot than any of us in the city. It's too much light pollution. So hey, there's the view back to the 900 North Michigan. We'll cross Oak Street here. Kind of see the John Hancock a little bit. Yeah, the night before was the best. Yeah, you're right. People picking up after their dogs. Yeah, see, look at that. Yeah, there's a nice group of people there that gather at Washington Park. Usually they let their dogs off the leash there, and they're always looking at them. They're like, who's this guy filming us? I know, I probably feel the same way. But here's the Palette and Chisel. Yeah, they got art classes here, Academy of the Arts. Original art sale, all works, $400 or less. Hey, check it out. They got an art sale. $400. Oh, very nice. Maybe we'll head through that. I just want to get home. Maybe if I'm got more time, we'll go through and look at the artwork, but I just want to go home here. Here, yeah, Ruth Page Center for the Arts. We go by this all the time. They got ballet and dance classes. They got modern dance and ballet, I think. We saw where Ruth Page's final resting place there in Graceland Cemetery next to Ernie Banks. Yeah, Nikki. So Nikki, if you watch my content, if you go back to a year ago, like back to 2023, 2024, for over a year, I filmed daily or once a day. We only did like lunchtime streams at that because I was still on TikTok mostly. And I filmed landscape like this Gemini. And I got a lot of videos where we walked through the Loop, South Loop, West Loop, Millennium Park, other neighborhoods. I did the Bud Billiken Parade in landscape. That was in 2024, I think. Or maybe it was, no, yeah, it must have been. I got some air and water show stuff, landscape. And the thing is that the YouTube algorithm doesn't push the landscape stuff to cell phones. It pushes it to TVs. If people watch through TV, or if they're all watching their computer, you might be able to, but most people don't discover it unless they already follow you. I get more people discover me just scrolling through the shorts and the video, because it'll feed up a random video every once in a while, and then people are like, where you at? What's this crappy place? You know, oh, Chicago, you know, I hate this place, but I'm gonna watch, you know. And that's how I get half of my followers here. And they're just like waiting for me to get mugged, I think. and that's half my audience. So hey, maybe it'll happen someday, and then I'll be gone. And then what do you watch then? But you're free to check out that content. Please go to my YouTube page, go to the live tab, scroll back. There's a bunch of landscape stuff, and I know it's better watching it live. Again, I switched to filming in vertical because we get more eyes on the screen, which is what they want, because I'm not trying to get eyes. I'm just trying to get people to see my content. Well, I guess it is eyes on the screen. So it's, I'm part of the problem. But that's why I film vertical. And then I can transfer it to reruns on TikTok. It just, I do post. I've never had a landscape video go viral. There was once, TikTok actually made an incentive program briefly for posting landscape content. I was like, finally! And so I transferred a bunch of my YouTube content and landscape into YouTube. It got a bunch of views. It got like 20,000 views. But hardly anybody would like it because most people didn't turn their phone, or there was black bars on the top, bottom of the screen. It was a little tiny screen. They were like, I ain't watching this. And it's the ergonomics of the cell phone. Why is there so much vertical content now? It's because of the cell phone. People watch on the bus, and when they're driving the car, they're watching their phone. They put it in the holder. And but I got landscape content. I can make more. I can turn the phone this way. Hey, we're landscape. Look at that. You like that? This freaks people out because sometimes the poles like rush by. You rush by a tree, it looks like you're hitting a tree. Sarah never liked this. She's like, oh, I can't stand it. It's like you go real close to the tree, you're like, woof, woof, we go past the poles here. Woof. Gosh, and bus and posting. But here, we'll turn you back here. We'll turn you back so you don't get sick. The whole world went sideways. Isn't that cool? We do it sometimes to get the skyline in, to get the full skyline or something on the lake horizon, or, every once in a while. We still have we can still do it landscape. But here's the Dearborn Division, Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, let's head up Dearborn a little bit at night, see if they got anybody setting any Christmas lights out yet. Yeah, landscape. We could do it landscape. Like I said, please check out my landscape content. You might find something you like. You give me a look. If you like this content we're watching right now, just double tap the screen, give a little like. I need to do that every time I mention the time and temp. So now it's 5:49 in the PM here, 50 degrees. We're on Dearborn Street, and hit the thumbs up there if you like this. Only if you like it. You can hit the thumbs down too. People do that sometimes. Keep coming back. What phone is this? I use a Samsung. I'm on the Android. I use a gimbal, so it keeps the phone steady. Otherwise it'd be really shaky. I have a shaky gait. Look at the nice stained glass windows here, Dearborn Street. Yeah, the Ernest Hemingway and his first wife, Hadley Richardson, lived in that third one on the top floor back in like the 1910s, where they went to Europe and he got involved in the Spanish War. He fought for the socialists. Here's Ernest Hemingway. We got inside there. They got amazing dioramas. They made them out of Ken dolls. They have one of they got one of Key West. It's great. Look at that. They got Obi-Wan Kenobi, but he's Ernest Hemingway. Hey, the Clare Ridge Hotel here, Dearborn Street. Yeah, it's open here, Omasaki. Did I say it right? Yeah, thanks for hitting the like there, Scott. Thanks for being a loyal friend and follower here. Glad you enjoyed this content. Many ways to participate here.
I'm going to ask him to see where the seats are. Maybe
Emma Goodman. Hey, I'll look into that. Dave Nasty. That's good. What are you guys talking about? Am I missing a side conversation here? Let's see. Lights are muted. Oh, and landscape, they dim the lights. Yeah, we'll have to try it out with the holiday lights once they do the trees there. Here, Gritton, Dearborn, Gold Coast, Chicago, Illinois. We'll go by the RH Furniture here. Hey, there's some lights over there. There's a few trees that got some lights. Yeah, here's the beautiful RH Furniture. We got videos where we go inside there. They got the 3 Arts Club Cafe. It's a furniture store, restoration hardware. They restored this whole building. You can go to the rooftop. They got 4 levels. I don't know if they use all levels for the display of merchandise, but you can check out the furniture. And they got a coffee shop there too. I think they valet. This is Dearborn Street, Gold Coast, Chicago. Used to live here. Hey, mister. Yeah, we try to just hit the touristy, regular, cultural, free happenings. I take advantage of the free stuff, not because it's truly free. We pay for it in taxes and fees and penalties, but if we're paying for it, I might as well use it. For years, I'd just lay on the couch, I'd watch it on TV. I'm like, I did that one year. One year, I was all, I was still drinking. I was all like depressed, laying there, and I was watching the Cubs on the TV, because I do watch the Sox, but for some reason I was watching the Cubs then, and I was like, why don't I just walk down 1.75 miles from where I live and actually go to a game? And so I started, looking. I would get like the upper deck, like top 8 rows or top 6 rows, and it would be $14. This was like in 2008. I think 2008 season, I went to like 25 games where I would just like walk down, and instead of watching it on TV, that's when I started like motivating myself to walk. I think it's when I first, that was the first year I stopped drinking, and so I would go to the game, and I wouldn't buy anything. I would just go to the game and watch it, and I would like go down. If there was hardly anybody there, I would go to a lower seat, and I would go to either side of the stadium and just check it out. Instead of watching it on TV, I'd actually go there for like $14. And I don't think you can get, I don't know what the cheapest ticket is now. I think it's more expensive than that, but you can get into Sox Park for $14. You get like that canned half-off deal. Sox Park has some really good deals for the White Sox. You can get like that cafeteria meal where you sit in the outfield, and then you go to that cafeteria before the game there and watch batting practice. It's nice. And they got better food at Comiskey anyway. Here's so if you just joined here, we're in Dearborn Street, Gold Coast, Chicago. I'm walking home from work. I lost my car. Dude, where's my car? Dude, where's my car? I've been 27 years, I've been looking for my car. I lost it somewhere. I can't find it. It's parked here somewhere. So hey, if you're just tuning in, we're in Chicago. We got 5:54 in the PM, and we're on Dearborn Street. We just crossed Schiller, I think. Yeah, all the Halloween decorations are gone. We'll probably cut over on Burton there. Got bike lanes here. Dude, where's my car? Dude. The dude abides. Nah, Jessica's been looking for your car too. You too? Yeah, we're both got the same predicament. Hey, St. Christendom's, they got some lights up here. It's nice. How you doing? Hey, yeah, we've been inside there. Look at that stained glass there. We went inside there. I got video footage. They got some triangular shaped stained glass windows on the side. So yeah, Dearborn Street, 1400 block. It's pretty pleasant. I think 50 degrees, it's a pretty pleasant temperature to walk. You know, as long as you got a jacket on. You don't need gloves. At least I don't. And you don't have to wear, you can just wear a ball cap. And the wind's not blowing. We got nice fall leaves here. Yeah, this is, I could take this any day. Yeah, Ashton Kutcher. Yeah, he was hanging out with P. Diddy, right? He was at his parties. Yeah, that 70 show. Dave Nasty. Yeah, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. 50 degrees Fahrenheit. It's about 10 degrees Celsius. We're dumb Americans. We still use the British system, even though the British system uses the metric system. We still use the king's feet and toes to measure stuff. 5,280 feet. Who knows how big an acre is? Tell me, how big is an acre? Is it 210 by 200 or is it 205 by 205? 300 furlongs in yards. It's like a cubit, it's like we multiply by 3. It just doesn't make sense. How do we do circles? 360 degrees. Okay. Then you get 45-degree angles. Okay. Very nice. Gee, I'm a tree. Yeah, Mr. Grotto Frog. OG backup. Gerald Tom, yeah. Yeah, he would go to those parties. A lot of people went to those parties. Maybe he's in the Epstein files. Oh, I shouldn't bring that up. The algorithm, they're going to just start bombarding me with people. What are you talking about? How dare you besmirch the president's honor? Here's, yeah, Dearborn Street. We'll cut over here on Burton here. No, we're almost to, we already passed Burton. We're almost to North Avenue here. Yeah, we went past the pretty places with the curved steps here. I forgot to turn. Yeah, it's a lovely home. All these are lovely homes. That's why they call it the Gold Coast. That was a private residence. Now they use it as school offices, I think. I didn't know that until they had the garden, the Dearborn Garden Walk, and they let us tour the grounds there. Yeah, these are residential houses here, 1500 block of North Dearborn here. Gold Coast, Chicago. If you like this content, hit the thumbs up there. Free to do there. Double tap the screen. Thanks for watching the shorts there. I post shorts there. You can go to my page and there's a tab there. You can, if you miss stuff, you're looking for something. I use hashtags. You can search for stuff. You can search for the south side, the west side. It'll pop up. I try to put the neighborhood name. I know I'm always on the north side because I live on the north side. Most of the time I'm just walking to and from work, so we just always walk through these. I try to go different routes. Like we walked by the lake last night. We were looking for the Northern Lights. All we saw was the street lights. Well, we saw them a little bit the night before. I think overtime 7, Ernie saw them there. Here, we'll cross North Avenue here. And we'll cut over by the, let's go over by the Moody Church here. So who's playing football tonight? You got Thursday night football, right? Yeah. Here, I'll check my other phone here. Let's see. Here, we'll see. We'll do Thursday night football here. NF. I wonder if it says TNF. Let's see. TNF tonight. Oh, I typed it wrong. Oh, there we go. Thursday night football this week. Who's playing? New York Jets at the New England Patriots. Thursday night football. There we go. John Gruden urges NFL to dump Thursday night football. It's not fair. Patriots versus the Jets. So here's the Chicago Historical Society here. Yeah, Grim Evil Lambie, how you doing there, Wes? Emilios, Dave Nasty. Sweden, hey, Vod Gorge. Yeah, I like your name there. Sweden, very nice. How you doing? Here's they call this the Children's Fountain. I learned that by watching Jennifer You Should Eat. And I guess Jane Byrne had this thing made. They had it for molds and stuff. And there. We'll stay on this side here. Here's the Chicago Historical Society. We got this nice fountain here. This corner of Clark and North Avenue. We got 50 degrees. Hit the thumbs up there if you like this. Here, get some grilled cheese there. There's your free advertisement there. Just looking at the cheese. Oh, someone's getting towed. Not the Cybertruck, but it's a regular tow there. Hey, how you doing there? Great Blackness, how you doing there? Good question. Okay, so right now we're about between 2.6 or 2.7 million. No one knows for sure because we're in between the census, but at least we stabilized. We were losing some population, but now we kind of stabilized at under 3 million. Now that's the city. Chicago metropolitan, all the suburbs. Chicago has over 100 suburbs. If you include the entire metropolitan region, we're at 9.5 million. 9.5 million people, the whole metro. That's from northwest Indiana, all the Chicago suburbs, and even up to Waukegan, or Kenosha. Kenosha is like the most northern part there. Right across in Wisconsin there. I guess Racine's part of Milwaukee. That's where they draw the line. But Chicago's the third most populous city in the United States. New York's, of course, the first metro and city. I think New York's like about 9 million, and it's about 28 million metro, or maybe 30, I don't know. Tokyo's larger than New York City, but LA's the second largest in the United States with about 16 to 18 million, depending on how you count the Imperial Valley and Orange County. But Chicago's almost under 10 million, and then Houston, and it goes between Houston and Dallas, Fort Worth, depending about 5 or 6 million. I think Houston's got over 6 million, like they're pushing 7. Dallas is, if you count Fort Worth and Plano. One day Houston and Dallas are going to grow together. The vast triangle will connect there between San Antonio and Austin. Austin and San Antonio are pretty much growing together. You know, there's almost no gap between those suburbs. It's all filled in there. Here's Chicago History Museum. We're in Chicago. San Francisco's pretty big. Salisbury, Plano. The Big D. I'm going through the Big D. Hey, we should get a nice view of the John Hancock. We'll do a check on gas prices here. So hey, if you just joined here, we're at LaSalle and Clark Street, Chicago, Illinois. We'll go see if the ducks are out. We'll get the check on gas prices at Clark Street. And we're north of the downtown here. We're heading home from work. 50 degrees. Man, the left turns take forever. There's the last left turn. I'm trying to game the light here. But here's the nice view you get to the John Hancock here from Clark Street. 900 North Michigan building in purple. $4.19 Chicago gas prices. This is probably one of the most expensive gas stations in the city. Clark and LaSalle. $4.19 regular, $5.19 for ultimate. The Ultimate Warrior there. There's a view to the Sears Tower when we cross this. This is LaSalle Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Yeah, we can see it here already. Here's the blue tower. Look at the nice blue tower. They're pretty blue. Sears Tower, Willis Tower, whatever you want to call it. There it is. And that's Chicagoland. Dave Nancy's got it there. See if we get the light here. Yeah, we got the light. So we're crossing South Street. They got a boom here. You can look down to the Board of Trade. Yeah, if you zoom down here, I think you can see the Board of Trade here. Let's see if we can get it. There it is, the Board of Trade. Look how it just popped out of nowhere there. Remember we were down there at lunchtime? So there's the boom. So yeah, if you want to see at lunchtime, we filmed they're going to turn there's plans to move forward with the LaSalle Bank renovation there. They call it the field building, like after Marshall Field is heirs. It's at LaSalle and Adams. They're going to convert it, the bottom part, into housing. And hopefully they'll put a grocery store there. That's what they're talking about. Can you believe LaSalle Street's going to be residential? All those tall skyscrapers where the sun never shines. People living. They're going to put like pools. They're going to put little rooftop amenities on those 4 things. They're going to take the HVAC sheds off, whatever they have on the top there. The Jets. You like the Jets? Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's why I don't have to worry about parking the car. I don't have to worry about the comment is, yeah, you know, this neighborhood's so walkable. I can walk to my grocery store. I can walk to a Home Depot. I mean, you know, the parking lot's on the roof. You know, you got pretty much everything within walking. Even hospitals are within walking distance. You know, and I got transit to the airports. If I have a driver's license. If I need to have a car, I'll rent a car. I'm a member of Zipcar. I hardly ever use it. I just keep it as a backup. Every once in a while, you need a car in emergency, you know. And well, here we'll cross here. We're at Wells Street here. How you doing? Wells and Eugenie. We're on Eugenie here. So we just walked down Eugenie here. Let's see if the ducks are out. Yeah, it's one of the most walkable cities in the United States. It's flat. You notice it when even you go to San Francisco, you notice the hills. Even we were in Georgetown, Washington D.C. They got hills and steps. Cincinnati, you're always going up and down hills. You know. And here we're in the flat Chicago, where the flatness of the Great Plains meets the incredible flatness of the Great Lakes. Here's here's the duck house. How you doing there, ducks? See, all the snow's gone. Ducks are back. It's warm. It's 50 degrees. It's gonna be 60 degrees tomorrow. Here's the ducks. How you doing? Where's your turtle friend? You guys like the snow? So you're glad it's gone? Sitting there on your little AstroTurf, swimming. Yeah, very nice here. So here, we'll keep going here. Here's the house with the ducks. Very nice. I like it here. So here, we're right here on Eugenie Street. Walking home from work here. They still got the Halloween decorations out. Just leave them out. That's what they did in that chiropractor place. They just left them out all year. Then they took them away for Halloween. Yeah, have a good evening there. Tombot, how you doing there? Lambie T, yeah. May, have a good night. Grim Evil. Edgy number 1. Yeah, the ducks. You hear them? They were quacking. They were quacking. I heard them. Yeah. We missed it. We're talking to you. Hey, thanks for tuning in from Oklahoma. This is Chicago. This is called the Old Town Triangle. It's kind of at the southern part of Lincoln Park on the north side of Chicago. I started this walk downtown, right on Michigan Avenue, south of the river. We walked through River North and the Gold Coast, and we walked through this historic area called the Old Town Triangle. And it's got a lot of workmen's cottages, buildings that were built after the Great Chicago Fire in various forms. Sometimes we show the relief houses. Those are interesting. Here, let's head up North Park. We'll just we'll wait till this car goes by here. But now that it's wintertime, we might have a view to the Sears Tower. You can't see it in the summertime because of the trees. There, yeah. See, it's there, but there's too many leaves on the trees. So here, we'll head up this way. Nebraska, how you doing there? Kevin Krause, thanks for tuning in there. So hey, if you just joined here, we're at North Park is the name of this. North Park Avenue is this. This is called Eugenie. We're about a block north of North Avenue. I know this is so confusing. And we're going to head up to Menominee and we can either go to Lincoln Park West or we can go to Orleans Street. And it's in Lincoln Park is the neighborhood, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. And we got Thursday night football. It's pretty pleasant. It's about 50 degrees Fahrenheit, about 10 degrees Celsius. There's an old coal door. They used to deliver the coal. It was a coal chute. You shovel it in, it slides down to the basement where the furnace is. Just like Home Alone there. We're not anywhere near the Home Alone house that's 20 miles north of us. Chicago's vast. It's not even in the city of Chicago, it's in the north suburbs. Here's, we're in, we'll just start, we're at the northern end of the Old Town Triangle here, St. Paul Avenue. Hey, there's some Halloween lights down that way. Yeah, let's check out this workman's cottage. I think there's the workman's cottage over here. Because I really have no reason to go down it, but we'll do it tonight here. Here's, it's beautiful. Still part of the Old Town Triangle. No, now I know where we're at. So I saw it from a different angle. This is St. Paul. So St. Paul will take us over to Wells. Let's go one more. I want to go one more because I want to show you this relief shanty. We've got a rerun on it. I think people find it interesting if you like historic neighborhoods. That's what this is a historic district. We can talk about the Great Chicago Fire. So yeah, so we're on the north side, and Great Chicago Fire happened in 1871. Because of the way the wind was blowing that night, it was blowing from the south and west towards the north and the east. That's why when it started where Mrs. O'Leary's barn was, however it started, whether the cow tipped over the lantern, I think that was a apocryphal story about her milking the cow, and it's not her fault. It was probably some drunk guy named Peg-Leg O'Sullivan. But however it started, it quickly spread in the wooden buildings at that time, and they probably even had wooden sidewalks. And first people from other neighborhoods kind of watched it at a distance as like entertainment. They were like, oh, you know, the south side's on fire there. And when it jumped the river and they realized it was going to burn the loop, that people started getting their belongings and said we might have to move because they knew where the wind was blowing. And the firefighters lost control of it. They lost water pressure in the early water pumping system. That was the water tower. The pump house went down and was damaged. And so then they said, you know, it burnt for 2 days and 2 nights. It took it, so people had time to, you know, they tried to haul everything on wagons. Imagine the flurry of activity. That's why they have those lithographs. There was no photographs. There was only photographs of the aftermath. We're talking about the Great Chicago Fire here as we head towards this relief shanty here. And we're I think we're over by Wells Street. And this is Crilly Court, goes up to, I think this is Menominee. And I'll get you the cross streets here. It's up here, I think. Or maybe I'm on the wrong street. Maybe it's one more up. No, I think it's, yeah, we're on the wrong, this is Willow. So yeah, we got to go up to Menominee. So we'll hit, it's right around here. I'm not on my way. This is actually an interesting way to go here. So back to the Chicago Fire. So yeah, those lithographs of people trying to get across the bridges. There's the bells of St. Michael's there. But that's why once the water pressure went out, the firefighters and the police, they said it's everybody for yourself. And that's why Policeman Bellinger was able to run up to Hudson Street and save his own house. And that's one of the only, there's only 3 houses I know of that survived the Great Chicago Fire up here. And the other 2 were because they blew towards the lake and just missed them. And they were on the edge of the city at the time. And they were kind of set apart. And there probably wasn't any other buildings around them, which helped them. It was the way the embers, the fire, we witnessed it with the California fires recently. They get so large and the embers raise down and there's fire tornadoes. That's what happened the Great Chicago Fire. There was outbreaks all over the Midwest the same night. The Bastille Fire was even larger than the Great Chicago Fire. More people died in the Bastille Fire, which happened at the same time as the Great Chicago Fire in 1871. It's because there were fires, just like out west, when there was a bunch of fires at the same time that happened in 1871 all across Wisconsin, Michigan, and Illinois. And there's been fires in other cities. But after the fire, this whole area was destroyed. But the street grid was still here. And Old Town was just outside the city limits. And that's why the street grids got these narrow streets and stuff. This was a livery stable. They used to have horses. The teamsters would live above. There's another livery stable down there. We go by it every night, or a lot of times. And Curly Court and Menominee here. We're in Old Town here. Welcome to Chicago. And I got reruns of this from Halloween. They still got the nice skeleton there. But this is a relief shanty. So after the Great Chicago Fire, they had to get through that first winter. I think St. Louis and the relief, there was a lumber yard within Chicago that wasn't destroyed, and they used that lumber to create kits where people could be these little kit houses. Some people thought this was a Sears Roebuck house. It's not. It's actually a relief house from 1871. You see how it's long like a shotgun house in New Orleans, and it's a relief shanty. They built it to get through that 1871 to 1872 winter after the Great Chicago Fire. And there's another one that's a garage now, or it could be, it's not really a garage, it doesn't have a garage door. It's like where the garage would be on the alley. And that's another relief shanty on the other end of Menominee. And we can walk right over there. But here, yeah, we're in Old Town, Chicago, Illinois. I know I'm missing the comments. That was a relief shanty from 1871 or 1872. It's probably the oldest building here. Some of these other ones were built in the later 1870s and are wood frame, but then by the 1880s the city increased their building code standards, and they get the nice brick and stone facades after that. And it was a boom times until after the 1870 or 1893 World's Columbian Expedition. There was a depression. It was pretty bad, actually. That's when the Pullman strike happened. But hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago. Here we're at Lincoln Park West and Menominee, and that goes up to Lincoln there. We'll keep heading this way. Yeah, I have to share it before the blizzards. You're right. This is the calm before the storm. We got a taste of it on Monday. Didn't last long. We're going to soak up the sun tomorrow and Saturday. If I work from home tomorrow, I'll maybe we'll go to the zoo at lunch, see if the bears are out. I know people are like, going to the zoo again. Hey, I want to see if those bears are out. They've got grizzly bears at Lincoln Park Zoo, 2 females, Ash and Lexi. We got footage of them earlier. I went over there before the snowstorm and they weren't out. They were hibernating. So here's this is the other livery stable. Now it's the community center here. This is North Park. Oh, sorry, North Park and Menominee here. Hey, this one's on the market here. You get this yellow house here. You got the nice side yard. Look at that. Yeah. See how nice? You can just like walk down the street. This is a really nice street. Here's another livery stable. This is the 3rd livery stable we've seen. And like Jennifer You Should Eat talks about, the old trolley lines and carriage houses would use this, and the trolleys would even turn around here. That's why that one street's a private street. Here's the yeah, these are workmen's cottages. They're more significant, well-built houses that were built after the relief shanty. So people would probably put the relief shanty in the back or move it, and then they built a more substantial house in the 1870s. And then, yeah, there's some row houses and things like that. This is called the Theodore Becking House. I think it's 1874. It says it on the trellis there. But look at that nice color scheme, pastel color scheme here. You got picket fence. See, you don't need the suburbs when you got this. I know this is expensive. It's like Georgetown in Washington, D.C. Like, oh, this is so nice. You got to be filthy rich. Hey, friends and neighbors here. Yeah, it's so cute. Al Bundy, how you doing there? Yeah. See, they got this big stone wall here. They got some nice lights. This reminds me of New Orleans. It's on Orleans Street. Nice cornice. Hey, look at the size of this tree. That's a big tree. Yeah, look at that Workman's County. Look at that nice cornice, or gable. So here. Look at that. Does that look? That's a relief shanty. That's the second relief shanty. I think this is the best example that we have, at least in this area. The other one's nice. The other one's actually a bigger house. And here we are. This is Sedgwick and Menominee, and here we'll get this. I want to get this relief shanty here. This historic building here in Old Town Triangle. I guess this would. See, it's got a door. It's not a garage. This is a relief shanty here. And here, I want to get back. I was waiting for that guy walking the dog to get out of here. Okay, good. So here's the relief shanty here in Old Town Triangle, southern end of Lincoln Park. Like I said, they built these after the Great Chicago Fire to get them through the 1871 to 1872 winter. It was probably like 2 rooms at the bottom and an attic where you slept. They probably added, that was like a porch that they enclosed. It's not a garage, it's a relief shanty. It goes back, historic building here on the back. See how they build on the front. These are the typical, we talk about, 125 feet long by 25 feet Chicago lots. And this is Sedgwick here. The theme music, yeah. Wait, let's see here. Yeah, I got a fence. We got fences. Good fences make good neighbors. How you doing?
Yeah, he was. He was in the banking workshop.
Satellite cities. Now, I'd love to go to Elgin. I'll tell you why. I'm lazy. I'm a lazy live streamer. I know everybody wants to, you know, my list is a mile long. I got requests for we got 100 suburbs in Chicago. We got 77 neighborhoods. You know, if I went to a different neighborhood every day, I could hit every Chicago neighborhood 3 times a year. And that would be working weekends. You know, I don't get around much. I don't have a car. So I mainly stream where I live and where I can walk to, which is about a 6 mile, 3 mile radius, 6 mile radius, and extend it by the CTA. So I take the green line to the end, I take the blue line, the orange line to the end. The green line, you can take all the way out to Oak Park and go up to Evanston. Take the Metra, I got videos in the south and west side, mainly on TikTok. And but yeah, Elgin's nice, Aurora's nice, Joliet's nice. They got the rivers, nice little downtowns. They were cities of their own. I'm just heading home from work. This is just like driving on the interstate. People are like, there's nobody on the street. I'm like, it's always been like this. Like, especially in wintertime. You got the whole street to yourself. That's why I can live stream, talk so loud. It'd be so annoying. People would cover their face. Show your face. Hey, thanks for enjoying the walk, Sergine. Thanks everybody. It's Nelios. Yeah, the time is 6:24 in the PM, Chicago, Illinois. We're on Sedgwick Street, heading north through Lincoln Park, and it's nice housing here. Yeah, hit that thumbs up if you like this content. Double tap the screen. And hey, nice e-bike there. Food delivery. Maybe we'll see the Coco or its competitor, Quincy. I think not all of them are named Quincy. They all got different names. Not just the one we saw was named Quincy. But most of the Cocos are just Cocos. They're all like amorphous.
I don't know. What's the Coco value on JSN?
Yeah, it's a nice neighborhood. You see why people are like, how can you live in Lincoln Park? It's so boring. It's so yuppie, gentrified. It's too white. It's all rich people. I'm like, I live alone. I don't really, I walk through the park. I like that it's near the lake. I can walk downtown. I still get the transit, get to the airports. It's expensive, but I live in a small place, don't own a car. And it goes right into my lifestyle. I'm a lazy live streamer. And I'm just lucky that from between where I live and where I work, there's enough interesting things to film that I just normally walk by. Most of them are touristy things that people will tune in and watch and be like, where's this at? I never know this existed. Now show us the bad stuff. I want to see the bad side of town. I don't want to see all this nice stuff. They shame me. How dare you live on the nice side? I'm like, yeah, I know. I should live in, you know. And there's nice areas on the south side. I film them. I was amazed that, you know, why do I even entertain this stuff? You know, like someone in the comments, they're like, why you never go to the south side? I want to see some south side. I said, look, I sent him a link. I said, here's my 160 videos of the south side. Here's my 150 videos of the west side. And they looked at him. They said, all I saw was the Obama Library and a bunch of stuff on the north side. They thought Hyde Park was the north side. They thought Pullman was the north side because it looked too nice. It wasn't the south side they were looking for. And I filmed O Block. He didn't check out the O Block. Park regards. I rode a bike under the 63rd Green Line. We took the Green Line. Bud Billiken Parade. He didn't look at none of that. He didn't look at Bronzeville. He didn't look at. He thought Bronzeville was the north side. I'm like, so I blocked him. I'm like, you're an idiot. I blocked him. I'm like, and it shows you just wanted to argue. Why do I entertain this? Why do I give him a chance? You know, you don't get rewarded for being nice anymore. So I'm just going to be a jerk. You know, it pays. You know, it doesn't pay to be nice anymore. People just take advantage of your niceness. You know. Someone was like, how dare you start a subscription on TikTok? I'm like, you watch all my content for free on YouTube. All this, there's actually more content on YouTube for free now. Like, I ain't gonna watch YouTube. You're good. YouTube is like a major part of the media market now. It's like for the subscriptions, you know, the amount of content, it rivals, like, it's more than most cable stations, you know. And they don't even like produce their own shows like Amazon and Apple do. I mean, you can see some amazing stuff like Coachella streamed on YouTube, Lollapalooza streamed on YouTube. You know, you can just I put it on the projector. It's like I know it's bad. I should go to I did go to one day at Lollapalooza. You know, at least I went there one day. That's all I could afford. Here's Armitage, Lincoln, and Sedgwick. I'm too old for Lollapalooza. They think I'm the grandpa. They said, they don't say, where's your kids? They said, where's your grandkids? I said, I don't know. I said, where am I at? How'd I get here? Hey, North Buena Deli and Wine here. Farmington, New Mexico. Hey, Doreen, that's great. Yeah, we know you. How you doing, Doreen? Yeah, beautiful New Mexico. You and Lambie T there. That's great. Chicago Toxic Donut. 216? I don't know. What's 216? There's Armitage and it's the new housing here. Armitage and Sedgwick and Lincoln. Oh, let's head up here. Yeah, it's across the street. Red Cap Rebellion. Are they doing that? Oh my God. Just got off of work. Duke of Armitage. Oh, the Duke of Armitage. Okay, you were the Duke of Armitage. Hey, it's like the Duke of Earl, the Duke of Armitage. That's great. King of Cups. There's the bells of some church. Hey, there's nice housing over there. Look at those townhomes there. Better Homes and Gardens there. Look at the light shining through there. Sedgwick Street, north of Lincoln and Armitage here, Lincoln Park. We still got fall colors here on Sedgwick. This is a beautiful tree-lined street. Yeah, let's just walk in the street here. Two-way traffic, I got to make sure. Yeah, these people are coming here. But yeah, look at the nice fall colors here. But yeah, Duke of Armitage. We'll have to remember that, Dave. Yeah, it's a privilege to be alive. You're right. It's a beautiful night for a walk here. Where's that helicopter at? Yeah, autumn's nice. We've had a really nice fall. I thought it was over on Monday, but we're getting a second reprieve here. There's still fall colors. We get some sun in the 60s. It'll feel nice. It'll be like springtime, that first warm day. Everybody's out in the park. Everybody's at the lake. Yeah, Nelia, this is great. So are you, May. You guys are nicer than I am. Every once in a while I fly off the handle. Thanks for putting up with it. Thanks to my great mod team. Keep me on the straight and narrow here. Hey, Sedgwick Street. We got 6:32 in the PM Chicago time. We need to create some internet time. The whole earth would be on one time. We just get used to it. We'd adjust. They said they tried to do like experiment with like 28-hour days and 22-hour days, and it would mess up with people's cycles. People would get sick. They couldn't do it. You know, we're used to like the Earth's rhythm, lunar cycle. You know, isn't that amazing too? Yeah. You know, here comes the Cybertruck. No, that's a VW. It's a Volkswagen. Here, Dickens and Sedgwick here. Yeah, you got the nice lighting on the trees there. Look at that. Look at that beautiful facade there. Look at that bay window with the uplighting with the trees there. Yeah, the nice window panes. Yeah, Lincoln Park. They got the pumpkins. Nice fall display. People getting ready for Thanksgiving. Hey, I got a bag of turkey. I went out and got my bag of turkey because I heard the turkey prices were going up. So I said I'll get my bag of turkey. Just got to throw it in the oven. Get some stuffing, mashed potatoes, cranberries. I was never crazy about cranberries, but get some rolls, green beans, salad. Get that tryptophan, fall asleep, watch football. There's the fall color here on Sedgwick Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. How you doing here? Yeah, we'll go by the Psychedelic Barbie house. Look at these nice Italianate. See, that's a two. We go. It's a 4-4. There's 2 below, 2 above. Look at that. It's a 4 flat. Could be a 6 flat, but I think it's a 4 flat. There's the nice window bays over there. They call this the Mid-North Historic District, or Lincoln Park there. It sounds yummy, yeah. Canada already had to do Thanksgiving. We get to have ours. Oh, are they okay? Let's see. You okay? Okay, good. So here, we'll keep going here. You want a balcony? Yeah, they got some balconies here. Look at that nice, these beautiful storefronts. Oh, this sidewalk right here. Look, see, this is dangerous. So she was skating there, and that's what got her. Hopefully she's okay there. I didn't want to. She's all right though. So here's the welcome to Chicago, welcome to Sedgwick Street. Here's the Psychedelic Barbie house, which is this Victorian mansion here on Sedgwick, and hey, it's got the John Kearney statues here, and I like the lighting scheme, and that's why I call it psychedelic. They got the red, the green, and the purple and the red lights there, and they got the John Kearney statues there. Yeah, it's depressing in winter. It's okay at the beginning because you got Christmas and you got holidays, and it's not too bad until you get to January, and you're like, okay, I'm had enough of this. You got the polar vortex, and then you get to February, and you're like, I'm ready for this to be over. And then you get to March, and you get teased because then it's like St. Patrick's Day, and you get that one warm day, and everybody's out in shorts, and then you have another 2 months of winter until May. and that's when you're in April, and you're seeing baseball start, and spring break already happened, and you look outside, it's still snowing, and that's when you really curse living in Chicago. But then by May, you feel reborn. You got that whole spring and summer ahead of you, and you're like, and then you're alive. But hey, yeah, it's hard to get. You guys got to take breaks, take vacations, you know. And here, let's check out this pumpkin scene here. Yeah, thanks. Come on back, Gene. We stream morning, noon, and night. I'll probably just walk to the grocery store tomorrow if I work from home. We'll take it easy. And hey, look at the nice pumpkin patch here. Esme. Yeah, we'll walk over to Clark Street here. Look at this nice window bays here. St. Valentine's Day Massacre was just south of here. We talked about it earlier in the week. And we'll head up past the Francis Barker School here. We'll cross Webster. This is Webster, Clark Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Hit that like button there if you like this. And thanks for tuning in. There is the Esme here. This swanky place here. Lincoln Park Zoo's over there. This is Clark Street, heading north. Or like the 2200 block, I guess. No, 2300 block. 22. I was right the first time. Bar Esme. Oh yeah, there's a lot of character, especially in that Victorian, the one I call the psychedelic Barley House. The pastel color scheme, how they painted the cornice, the porch, the uplighting. Yeah, it's just such a beautiful. You see why I fell in love with this area, and you know why it's so expensive, because the housing is so nice. And Central Nail and Spa. I mean, this is a private school. People pay like college tuition for 12, you know, kindergarten through 12th grade. This goes all the way to high school, and then they go to college, you know, and it's just, and there's scholarships, but you know, it's just, it's like the Latin school. How you doing? Here's hey, the ice cream here, the Yoberry. They got this, the Dad's Park here. But yeah, this is all the Mid-North Historic District here, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Hey, I'm walking here. Yeah, Midnight Cowboy, that's an amazing movie. Can you believe that got an X rating? You look at it, you're like, how, you know, it was like banned. But Dustin Hoffman, Joe Buck. Where's that Joe Buck? I'm just a gigolo, and everywhere I go. Hey, Francis Parker. Psychic. We got to go to the Psychic here. We go to the Alamo in the basement. Where's the bike at? Yeah, it's rewarding. Dublin? Yeah, I would love to do some live streaming in Dublin. We'll get there eventually. Take the show on the road. Do the travels of Brian, the life of Brian. Yeah, look at these stained glass windows, these porches here. This is on Clark Street. These are residential flats here on Clark Street. Flop houses. Clark Street used to be more seedy, like the St. Valentine's Day Massacre was just south of here. Bugs Moran. That was a really nice hotel that he lived in. There were some luxurious hotels, just like the Bell in Stratford. But the Man with the Golden Arm was written about Clark Street. When on the Jack Kerouac's On the Road, they came to Chicago and they visited Clark Street, and that's where the jazz clubs were and where they got their tea. If you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But here, this is Belton Street. Henry Ives Cobb here. No. Charles Sumner Frost. Charles Sumner Frost was the architect. Imagine having a name like that. And he's not the poet. He's architect. Holtzman's yours. Charles Sumner Frost. Clark Street. So hey, we'll start wrapping this up. Hope you got a good night here. I'm Brian Really Chicago. I stream morning, noon, and night on most weekdays. If we do weekends, we'll do TikTok. I'm Brian Really Chicago on TikTok. We're streaming on YouTube now, because you can watch the full live reruns there. Go to my live tab on the YouTube there. Appreciate you. Thanks for everybody for tuning in here. We got 6:41 in the PM, Chicago, Illinois, Clark Street. We're up by Fullerton. I'm gonna head home. Call it a night. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll probably just head to the grocery store. We might head to the Lincoln Park Zoo at lunch, noon to 1. We start streaming in the morning. I probably won't start streaming until 7. What's the point of rushing? And I don't know if I'll stream at night or not. We'll see what we feel like. Here's Ravens. Hey, Thursday Night Football, Jets versus Patriots. Is that who's playing? Yeah. And have a good night there. Thanks everybody. Thanks to mods here. Call me Fat Jesus Scott. One Golden Nubian. Margie R. Yeah. Bye everybody. S. Wes. Dave Nasty. See you later there. SB Plus. Tombot, Dave Nasty, we said you twice. Delios, yeah, Maylak, May, thanks for tuning in. Grim Evil, our man in Joliet there. D-Lime Tea Time. Nuchu, yeah, thank you. Hey, everybody, have a good night there. Sleep tight. Yeah, Grim Evil, I saw you've been streaming there. That's good. You even like watching the football game. That's good. So thanks for your Aurora Borealis, Midwest. Yeah, Nuchu, Terry C, Leslie, Best Catcher. RGR, Reaper. Okay, we'll see you here. So hey, we passed the Reby Moving and Storage. Here's the Big Apple. We'll give a plug to the Big Apple Finer Foods here on Clark Street. Nelios, Dust Sketcher, RGR. Leslie. Okay, good. We'll see you later there. Midwest there. We'll Zoom Patrol. Peace out. Okay, you're the last one. We'll talk to you later.